Wild like my daddy, but straightforward like my mama. Drank like granddad, smoke sluggies like the other. But granddad feels the guts. Hustler like my uncle JT or cousin Big B. I got big dreams like Jimmy Lee, and my aim to feel good about any beans. Keep a job like Uncle Kevin told me. Top notch player like David. And that caddy thing since the 80s slab. Been corporate thug and political like Jack. May he rest in peace, but I've been taught a lot. See, this hot head wasn't scared to get money nor need the beats. See, can't play me like I'm a pawn in the game. Chess, Joker like Big Kenny, Ski, G like Jarrell, Journey. Trigger happy, it's about my family, alone like my granny, Lula, chuckling, giggling, hunching my shoulders like my daddy's and the lead, routed like them Tyson seeds, the spiritual like.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for hopping on.
Like no one, you know, ever. Also like Uno, my soldiers, untold stories like my.
Gonna get started momentarily.
Because of Ray, I could get aim like Herb and Freeman, like John and Gene. I can be man, it's respectful, tattoo, a different breed. I can't wait till they get a load of me. Drake in luxury, memory and lessons from ancestral pillars, legacy family.
We are unapologetic.
Hey, the went back mentality. We are unapologetic. Hey, the went back mentality. I can't wait. To load me. I can't wait. To load me.
I can't wait.
I can't wait to load me. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Hey, what's up, Kim? All right on. Hey, champions. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation Facebook Live podcast. It is yours truly, Arian Tyson. I'm sitting in my office here in St. Louis. Thank you so much for hopping on. Let's dive right in. This literally dropped in my spirit earlier today. And I just said, I'm going to have some fun with this. Hey, Shonda, thanks for hopping on. I'm going to have some fun with this one, with this topic, because where I'm at right now in my life, and if you can attest to this, leave me a comment in the comment section when it comes to what I'm about to say. At this point in my life, my grind has went to such a level that for me, it's about grinding now so I can shine later. And maybe you have that mindset to grind now and shine later. But for me, grind is an acronym. And I'm going to share with you what that acronym means to me and how it can benefit you. So if you give value, feel free to leave me a comment. Feel free to share this Facebook Live on your Facebook walls. Having said all that, you know, I've been online for quite some time now, and I've heard different things such as the bigger the dream, the harder the grind. And that's true. And I've heard people talk about how, you know, they're going into grind mode. But what I've noticed is that a lot of those same people that's going into grind mode, they find themselves in the same position years later. Or maybe they even regressed from when they started saying that they were going into grind mode. See, one of the things that I've learned about people that really grind is that normally they don't do a lot of talking. They just allow their results to speak for them. They make a lot of power moves in silence. It's almost as if they keep their audience guessing, like what's really going on. And that's what 2017 has been for me. That's what 2017 has been. Now, a lot of things have happened that I have not talked about over the last 20 months of my life, almost 2 years now. And what it has helped me do, it has helped me regain my focus. It has helped me regain my passion. It has helped me regain my purpose. Because normally, when you're going through a struggle, when you're going through a storm, that's when you learn how to put a lot of things into proper context. That's when you find a way to put a lot of things into proper perspective. Because when you're going through something, that's when you really find out who's for you. When you're going through something, that's when you find out who really cares. Why? Because people are naturally nosy by nature. By nature. They're naturally nosy by nature. And when something goes awry, or when something seems off, so to speak, you will have people that really care about you, that really have your best interest at heart, that really want to see you succeed and not look at you as competition. You really have them come to your aid, and they ask questions. But because you have developed a relationship with them, you are able to be able to have that person tear down their wall. Because how many of you all know that you can't trust everybody? How many of you all know that there are snakes everywhere we go, especially on social media? People walk around claiming to be something that they know they're not. And the problem I have with it is that people know when you're lying. But I have a problem with people that know that you're lying and they don't say nothing about it. They don't address it. So the thing about it is, you have to get to a place. You have to get to a place where you're determined that nothing is going to derail you. Nothing is going to stop you. No matter who stays, no matter who leaves, no matter who turns their back, no matter who's ride or die. Nothing is going to derail you. Nothing is going to stop you from living out your purpose, to fulfill your destiny, to fulfill your God-given gifts. Because we all have gifts. But if you're not utilizing your gifts and utilizing your network, you are shortchanging yourself, and you're going to pay for it tenfold and 100-fold. Because there are people that you're designed to reach. There are people that are supposed to hear your voice, that only you can touch by your story. And there lies the problem. Because too many people are trying to put on this proverbial mask. And I know that, today is Halloween. I don't celebrate Halloween. I don't. But for those that do, you see a lot of people that put on masks. And the thing about it is, it's funny. I saw something today on Facebook, and one person said, for this Halloween, why don't you portray yourself as who you really are? Because there's a lot of people that carry themselves as one way, but there are people that know you outside of social media, and they know that you're talking nonsense. They know that who you portray yourself to be on social media is not who you are in real life. I've actually heard Facebook referred to as fake book. And I'm quite sure at some point you probably have said the same thing, that Facebook, because it's a lot of two-faced people on Facebook. So therefore, it ain't always Facebook, it's fake book. Having said all that, I want to share with you why it's important to grind now and shine later. One of the reasons is that what you have right now is a gift. It's the present. You can't change what happened in the past. You can't change for the past. You can't change your past. And your future is not it's not written yet. So you actually have an opportunity with every decision or every indecision that you make to be able to make it count for something. One of my buddies, Jeff, always says that you have to make every second count. You know, we have 24 hours in a day. All of us get 24 hours in a day. But our success in life, in any area of our life, whether it's in our relationships, in our marriages, in our friendships, in our businesses, etc., in our families, all depends on how we use the 24. You can't be everything to everybody. You can't be every place all the time. But you have to determine what's important and what's not important. And just because you don't support everything that somebody does doesn't mean that you don't have love for them, doesn't mean that you don't appreciate them, doesn't mean that you're not down for them. It just means that there's something on your plate that's more important. Here's the thing about grinding. Grinding requires sacrifice. It requires you to make some sacrifices. You can't do everything that you've been doing and expect your results to change. You're going to have to change your mindset. You're going to have to think outside the box. You're going to have to be able to do some things that's going to require you to get uncomfortable. And the very reason that I'm speaking before you tonight is because about 4 years ago, 4.5, almost 5 years ago now, I had to do something that required me to get very uncomfortable. And what that was is get in front of a camera. And because I overcame that obstacle, because I overcame that fear and got in front of the camera, the world has opened up to me. Opportunities have opened up to me, which has led to me doing a bunch of videos, almost 1,000 and counting, which has led me to launching this podcast almost a year ago. Now, the one year anniversary would be November 15th. So we're basically two weeks away. And then as my buddy Kim has put in the comments, it has allowed me to embrace something that I put off for 20 years. And that was becoming an author. Yes, you heard me say that. Becoming an author. I announced this past Friday that over the last couple months, quietly, I've been in grind mode. And I have been writing my very first book. And it's going to be released very, very soon. And it is available for pre-order. And Kim already put the website where you can pre-order it. And for those that are watching on YouTube, it's www.lovemeorhateme.org. And the name of the book is entitled Love Me or Hate Me, My Journey from Motivation to Elevation. It is something that I'm proud of. It is something that I have put my heart into because it's my story. It's my truth. And because I am a firm believer that there is power in every last one of our stories, and nobody can tell our stories better than us, I know that there is someone waiting to hear my story, and they're going to be impacted because my story was meant for them. When you get to a point in life where you go through things, when you go through life and you have certain obstacles and certain setbacks, your story is no longer your story. It's about you, but it's no longer for you. And that's what I had to learn. That's what I've learned over the last near 2 years of my life, that my story, yes, is my story, but it's no longer just my story for me. It's my story for someone that's on the verge of giving up. For someone that knows that they need to be doing something different, that is more to life than just going through the motions, that just going to the job that you can't stand or you just barely tolerate because they pay you just enough for you to not quit, and then just to come home and do nothing. You've heard me say it before. Behind your feelings is nothing, but behind every principle is a promise. And in this book, I'm going to reveal the 8 principles in my life that I live by, that the storms of life have helped me develop. The storms of life have taught me to appreciate. So be on the lookout for that. And then not only that, I agree with you, Shonda. Yeah, a lot of people stunt for the book. They stunt on Facebook. And my thing is, if you are dealing with a bunch of people that stunt on social media, and you know they're not what they say they are, why would you do the same thing? How are you going to separate yourself? It's going to require you to grind. And like I said when I first started, grind is an acronym. And for me, this is what grind means for me. And for those that are watching, please put this in the comment section. It stands for this. It's an acronym. Grind stands for greatness requires intense, necessary determination. I'm going to say it again. Grind, G-R-I-N-D. It stands for greatness requires intense, necessary determination. That's what grind means to me. That's why it's important for you to grind now so you can shine later, because your greatness depends on it. For those who don't know, and I'll give you a nugget from the book. My personal definition of greatness is this. Greatness is the ability to authentically walk in your truth, regardless of setbacks, regardless of shortcomings, recognizing that setbacks are inevitable, but realizing that the ultimate price of achieving it is responsibility. I'm going to say it again. Greatness is the ability to authentically walk in your truth, regardless of shortcomings, recognizing that setbacks are inevitable, yet realizing the ultimate price of achieving it is responsibility. That's what you have to do to achieve greatness. Greatness requires that of you. You were not designed to be average. You were not designed to be ordinary. You were not designed to be mediocre. You were not even designed to be below average. Especially if you call yourself a child of God. Just putting the spiritual context in there. Greatness is supposed to be a standard. That's the standard. Nothing short of greatness should be acceptable. Nothing short of it. But too many people are accepting less than greatness. And then they wonder why they get treated the way that they get treated. And if you can't say amen, say ouch. Because the thing about it is, when you're in grind mode, it requires you to strive for greatness. It requires you to make the world respect your greatness. It requires it. It is not up for debate. It is not up for discussion. It requires it. And it also requires grinding, requires intensity. Another word of it, another term to describe intense is passion. You got to have passion about what you're going after. You got to have passion about what you believe in. Because nobody Nobody respects someone who lacks passion. Nobody respects someone who lacks intensity, who lacks direction. You gotta have intense, you gotta have that tunnel vision. You can't be all over the place and expect somebody to take you seriously. But when you're grinding, that means that you're locked in. That means that you're focused, and that there are certain things that you're willing to sacrifice for a greater goal to get where you are. There are some things that you're going to have to put on the back burner now. You know, you're going to have to put it on the back burner and focus on what really matters now. When it comes to grinding, you realize that there are certain areas of your life that are in a state of emergency. Maybe it's your finances. Maybe it's your relationships. Maybe it's the fact that you're sick and tired of being sick and tired. But it's going to require you to do some things that you've never done. And in order to get something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. Are you with me? Because what's going to happen is when you make that decision that you're not satisfied with where you are. You might have been because you've been in this same situation for 6 months to a year. You've been at the same place for 2 years. You've been in the same place for 3 years. And this time is passing by. And for those that think that time is money, you're a bold-faced lie. Time is not money. You can always make more money. If you want to make more money, start a business. Get a second job, get a third job. What you cannot get, what you cannot make more of, what's more valuable is time. Because once it's gone, it's gone. And it's going to take almost hell in a handbasket to get that time back. So it's going to require you to do some things to free up your time. It's going to require, it's necessary. So yes, grind. Greatness requires intense, necessary. Think about some things in your life that are necessary. Taking care of your household is necessary. If you're a parent, taking care of your children is necessary. If you are a spouse, making sure that the needs of your spouse are met and fulfilled, that's necessary. But spending money on foolishness is not necessary. Doing things that are detrimental to your health, it's not necessary. It's about priorities. When you get to a point where you're willing to grind now, that means that you have set priorities. That means that you have determined what you're willing to do now and what can be done later. But it's too many people now that just want to shine. They want to look the part, but they're not willing to put the work in that's necessary. They want things handed to them on a silver platter. And that's not how life works. Life don't work like that. Life ain't no crystal stair. It's not. It's not a crystal stair for me. It has not been a crystal stair for you. It's going to require you to give up some things. It's going to require you to let go of some things. And the greatest thing that I've always wanted out of life is to know what it felt like to have peace of mind. That was my ultimate goal. That was my ultimate goal in life, to know what it felt like to have peace of mind. Because growing up, I didn't have any peace. I didn't have any peace. And when people ask me what was most important to me, and I always told them my biggest goal in life is to know what it felt like to have peace of mind. And the way to have peace of mind is when you know that you have impacted someone by getting out of your own way and realizing that you matter. You ain't went through all the hell that you've gone through in your life just to go through it. And too many times people sweep stuff up under the rug. They're not willing to talk about the obstacles that they've gone through, and then they have the audacity to look down upon somebody when they're going through the obstacles that they've gone through. The problem is they haven't talked about. They don't want to talk about what they've gone through. For whatever reason. Maybe it's fear of being judged. Maybe it's because they don't feel comfortable letting people in. How's that worked out for you? Because you've been doing that all this time and you're still in the same place. And the thing is this, and this is what 2016 and especially 2017 have taught me. Everybody's not out to hurt you. Everybody don't have your best interest at heart, but everybody's not out to hurt you. There actually are people that want to see you succeed. There actually are people that want to see you win. There are actually people that actually love you, that actually care for you, that are actually down for you. But if you're so busy focused on what you don't have, and if you're so busy saying, oh, woe is me, you will rob yourself and miss out on your blessings because you're too busy focusing on your present circumstances. And you seem to have forgotten that you serve a God that is bigger than your circumstances. And God always has a ram in the bush. And it normally is a person that has been through exactly what you've been through. Well, how are you going to know if that person has been through what you've been through? If you're afraid to share it, if you're afraid to talk about it. Because once you realize that your story is about you, but it's no longer just for you, the world becomes your oyster. And you are able to impact people that you'll probably never meet. And you will be able to attract people that will be able to encourage you when the people that you thought would encourage you won't. You will be able to resonate with people that actually love you, that's actually willing to pour into you. And you've never met these people face to face. And they're willing to do it and can impact you even greater than someone that sometimes is your own flesh and blood. Or someone that says, that's, quick to say verbally that, call me if you need me. But when I need you, you know where to be found. In the end, this is why it's important to grind now, because you have to be determined. You have to have the determination to know that whoever goes with me, I'm going to succeed. You have to have the determination to know. You have to have the determination to know that no matter what comes up, nothing is going to derail you. Shonda said that I have a lot to learn, not to be scared to talk around multiple people. I have a powerful story to tell. Shonda, let me share some with you. And one of the friends that I've known the longest can attest to this, because she has known me since I was 8 years old. I grew up very introverted. I grew up very quiet. I am actually a very quiet person by nature. So, but when I realized that my voice mattered and that the things that I've gone through, most people I know have not gone through what I've gone through. When I realized that, I say, you know what? I don't have to tell it perfectly. I just have to tell it. You say that you have a powerful story to tell. So my challenge to you is this. If that is true, and I believe it's true, because we've been Facebook friends for quite some time. If that's true, then what I challenge you to do is to make a decision that I'm going to tell my story, and I'm going to tell it as authentic and as transparent as possible. But recognize this, your story is not for everybody, and that's what helped me get to where I'm at now, when I realized that my story is not for everybody. Because when you're talking, when you're trying to talk to everybody, you're talking to nobody. But when you tell your story, when you make the decision that it's time to tell your story, that your time is now, the people that are meant to hear your story will hear your story and will be touched by it. People can't be touched by your story if you don't tell it. I'm just being real with you. They will never be able to tell. They will never be able. People, they will never be impacted by your story if you don't tell them. And I'm speaking from personal experience. All I wanted was for someone to encourage me. People did not encourage me. So I agree with what my friend Pierre said earlier, that people want to see you succeed, but they don't know how to encourage you. Here's how you encourage somebody. You speak life into them. They say a kind word turns away strife. It's hard to argue with somebody that's speaking positivity into you. It's hard. That's just like when you're in an argument with somebody, and then all of a sudden, when you speak life into them, the atmosphere changes. The atmosphere changes. Because you'll look back and say, what are we really arguing about? And more people actually believe in you than you realize. And one thing that I've learned from facing my own fear and stepping out on faith, which is what I'm doing now, is that when it's all said and done, and this is just a sad reality as I'm about to wrap up, that your friends and family, most of them, not all of them, but your friends and family won't support you until they see strangers uplifting you. I'm going to say it again. Your friends and family won't support you until they see strangers uplifting you. It's amazing how many people that I've never met face to face have spoken life into me. And it has helped me through some tough times. I mentioned my friend Kim. She knows what I've been through. We've had some very intense conversations. But it was her being who she is, operating in her gift, that helped me get through the toughest time of my life. And it's been a couple other people as well. You got it in you. But not only that, because we don't know how much time we have, you got to have that sense of urgency. You got to have that sense of urgency that when I lay down at night, I want to be able to say I earned the ability to rest, because I will have given it every single thing I had until I feel like I am depleted, like I have nothing to give. That's what's helped me get to where I'm at, and that's what's going to help me elevate to where I'm going. That's how I'm going to be able to ascend by the grace of God. Because it all starts in your mind. Yes, you have a powerful story to tell. Just like everybody that's watching, everybody that hears my voice right now, you have a powerful story to tell. You have not gone through what you've gone through just to go through it. What are you going to do with it? Or are you just going to lock it up and put it in a closet and put it in a metal box and just lock it up and nobody knows about it? Or are you going to own it? The good, the bad, and the indifferent. Because everything that you've gone through has helped shape who you are now. So own it. Own all of it. Because God don't make mistakes. Everything happens for a reason. We say it cliche, but it's true. You have not gone through what you've gone through just to go through it. There is a purpose behind everything that happens. There is a purpose behind everything that I've gone through. I talked about my book. I revealed some things that even the people that have known me 25, 30 years don't even know. It's revealed in this book. So the thing about it is, I have not gone through what I've gone through to stay silent about it. There's a time I actually said this on a recent podcast. There's a time to speak up and there's a time to shut up. You have been quiet long enough. The time is now for you to speak up. Own what you've been through. Because it's no different than a person singing a song that speaks directly to what they've gone through. And I know you have heard. I recently went to see. I recently went to see Janet Jackson in concert, and she did a song. She performed a song that talked about the issue of domestic violence. And at the end of the song, she got emotional and she told the jam-packed crowd that was her. That's her. And it resonated with a bunch of people because there are people that have been through situations just like you have. And they feel like they have no hope. They feel like, who can I turn to? Who's going to understand me? Who's been through what I've been through? There are reasons that people put, that there are reasons that, we cross paths with people. There's a purpose for everything. And the purpose for tonight's podcast, obviously, was to speak life into you. And I get, it does my heart justice to know that something I've said has resonated with somebody. And I appreciate you letting me know that it resonated with you. That's what it's about. Because ultimately, God gets the glory. And he's going to elevate you as a result of it. But you got to be willing to tell your story. And too many people are talking about the good that's happened to them. It's good. It's easy to own the good stuff, but they're not willing to talk about the stuff that has helped them build character, the negative stuff, because it's not really good or bad. It's blessings and lessons. It's things that have helped you elevate, and it's things that helped you build character. That's all life is. That's what the journey is. And we all on our own journeys, trying to reach the same destination. So having said all that, I'm going to shut up now. And so I want to thank each and every last one of you all who hopped on. I hope that, something that was said, that, it dropped something in your spirit, that it resonated with you. Because all I did was break down why it's important to grind now so you can shine later. Because when you plant the right seeds in due season, you will reap that harvest. For me, it's harvest season. And it doesn't mean I'm just going to sit back and just look at the harvest. No, that means I'm planting more seeds. I'm going even harder. I'm grinding harder. Because I'm not going to wait to 2018 like most people, or wait to the new year like most people, and then start going hard. No, you do that now so that momentum can carry into the new year. That's what I'm doing. And I would recommend anybody to do the same thing. Because, truth be told, 2018 is not promised. I just found out that a gentleman that I've known, for many years, who was a friend of my godmother's, passed away today. And he was not an old man, but he was young, and it makes you appreciate life. And, for me, my turning point was 2016 when I lost my father suddenly. So that's the reason I'm going hard, because legacy is everything right now. And whatever decisions I make, it has to be for the legacy. It has to be. If it cannot help the legacy, I'm not entertaining it. It doesn't mean I don't care. It doesn't mean that I'm not supportive. It just means that right now it doesn't line up with where I'm at right now. Or you focused on your legacy. Because we all need to leave one. We're all going to leave one. Is yours going to be positive, or is it going to be negative? But again, thank you so much for hopping on. If you haven't already done so, as my friend Kim put in the comments section, you can pre-order my book that is on the way. I'm so excited about it. I'm honored. I put everything in me in this book. I opened up my heart in this book. It is my truth. I own all of it. Everything. It's not all roses, and it's not for perfect people. So if you're imperfect like me, you're going to appreciate this book. So you can pre-order it at www.lovemeorhateme.org. And if you have not already done so, make sure you check out my website at www.motivationtoelevation.com. That's motivation, the number 2, elevation.com. As always, remember, in life you have two choices. You can make moves or you can make excuses, but you most certainly cannot do both. It's yours truly, Arian Tyson, the Moving Motivator. Thank you so much for tuning in. Shonda, I will inbox you the link, even though it's in the comments section right now. I'll make sure you get it. Talk to you soon. Peace.